Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Today we're going to be taking a look at our 2023 SideGame Library look-through. This is where we look at all of the games that currently exist in the library, talk about my favorites from each section of the shelf, and if you have any questions about what you see here, let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure that you do. It is the best way to help us grow. And for those of you already subscribed, thank you so much for the continuous support. Let's get started with the library look-through for 2023. We're going to start in the upper left section of our first Boxthrone shelving unit, and also one of our standing glass IKEA shelves. This is going to have all of our miniatures for Kingdom Death Monster, as well as the Arena of the Contest large miniature, and the one from Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. And if you look back there, you could even see a copy of Volfirion with the miniature for that as well. And then we're going to get into the actual game, starting in the upper left corner, going to the bottom right. And I'm not going to talk about any of the expansion content that's included in these games, because most of our games are fully expanded and fully upgraded, so I don't feel the need to repeat that here. So we're going to start in the upper left with Critters at War, Flies, Lies, and Supplies, Project L, Codenames, King Domino Origins, Jaipur, Silver and Gold, Boon Lake, Vagrant Song, Rove, Force of Will, Mind Management, Mosaic, A Story of Civilization, Sheol, Good Critters, Tinner's Trail, Ark Nova, Survive, Nidavellir, Spot It, Libertalia, The Winds of Galecrest, Legacy of You, Dice Realms, Frosthaven, Imperium Classics. We've also got Railroad Inc., another copy of Spot It, Summit, Point Salad, So Clover, Biblios, Similo, Glass Road, Skull King, Cover Your Assets, Sagrada, Hanami Koji, Geisha's Road, Ice Cool 2, Coloretto, Jamaica, Anachrony, Architects of the West Kingdom, Paladins of the West Kingdom, Wayfarers of the South Tigris, Res Arcana, Happy Salmon, This War of Mine, Green Team Wins, Las Vegas Royale, Tokyo Jitaku, and Ginkopolis. My favorite game out of all these is Coloretto, one of the best filler games out there. Love the set collection, the ice split you choose, and the modular expansions that are going to give you some new ways to play the game. Amazing title, that's Coloretto. Continuing on, we have the remaining miniatures for Kingdom of Death Monster, Heat, Pedal to the Metal, Now or Never, Balderdash, Splendor, Living Forest, Mysterium, Obscurio, One Deck Galaxy, Acropolis, Maskmen, For Science, Townsfolk Tussle, Arboretum, Seven Wonders Duel, Fleet the Dice Game, Three Sisters, War Chest, Friday, Hadrian's Wall, Ink and Gold, Resist, Detective Club, Hues and Cues, Paleo, Hansa Teutonica, Skull, Rumble in the Dungeon, 5 Minute Marvel, Wits and Wagers, It's Vegas Baby, Forgotten Waters, Fort, Paper Tales, Fog of Love, Wavelength, Glenmore 2, Chronicles, Abyss, When I Dream, Trajan, Splitter, Rage More, Tiny Towns, Coimbra, Pictures, and Ex Libris. Out of all these, my favorite is Hadrian's Wall, one of my favorite roll and write games. I love the different choices present, the constant showering of resources, and the new solo expansion that's going to give you new objectives and take you from game to game with additional progress systems. That is Hadrian's Wall. In this upper right section of the Boxthrone unit, we have Dead Reckoning, Ticket to Ride Europe, Seven Wonders, Woodcraft, Conspiracy, Abyss Universe, Clans of Caledonia, Unbroken, Underwater Cities, Pulsar 2849, Coup, Cat in the Box, Messina 1347, Praga Caput Regni, Assassin's Creed, Exit, Advent Calendar, Motor City, Masterpiece, Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef, Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror the Card Game, Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape, After the Empire, Century Spice Road, Fantasy Realms, Marvel Remix, Trois, The Mind Extreme, Warp's Edge, Arcana Rising, Clash of Decks, Blitzkrieg, and Caper Europe. Out of all these, my favorite game here is Marvel Champions. It's also my current favorite game of all the time. Love the solo and two-player modes of this, getting to be a Marvel hero and battle all sorts of different villains. Love the single-shot experience. The deck building is just a lot of fun with all the choices that you have to make. Finishing off this Boxthrone, we have Cartographers, Quacks of Quedlinburg, Roll for the Galaxy, Aeon's End, Marvel Legendary, Unmatched, all of the Clever series, so Ganshan Clever, Clever Forever, Clever Cube, Dopplet So Clever, Mechs vs. Minions, the Mind Management Super Strange deck, Kingdom Death Monster, Everdell, the Complete Collection, Vengeance, Roll and Fight, Heaven and Ale, John Company, Five Tribes, Role Player, Lockup, Don't Mess with Cthulhu Deluxe, and Catacombs. My favorite game out of all of these is Unmatched. This is the perfect two-player head-to-head skirmish game. I love the way that the decks are constructed, how thematic they are, and how easy the system is to get in, but the depth and complexity of them when you start digging in to serious competitive play. So that is the Unmatched series. So that's everything in our first Boxthrone shelving unit. Let's take a look at the second Boxthrone shelving unit, as well as you can quickly see our Crokinole board on the right there. We've got all of the pieces that you'll see in a second. In the upper right section of this this Boxthrone, we've got Cthulhu Death May Die's Giant Cthulhu Miniature, Spirit Island, Escape Plan, The Gallerist, Terraforming Mars, Western Legends, Ankh, Gods of Egypt, Glory to Rome, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, War of the Ring, the card game, Root, Hostage Negotiator, Oath Sworn into the Deepwood, Wonderland's War, Keyflower, Spicy, Take 5, Bargain Quest, Tiny Epic Galaxies, Oath, more Oath Sworn, Paperback Adventures, Wingspan, Ascension Tactics, the miniatures deck building game, Cards Against Humanity, Etherfields, Burn Cycle, Hoplomachus Remastered, Skytier Horde, Wizards of the Grimoire, and Sleeping Gods. My favorite out of this shelf is Paperback Adventures. This is one of the best solo games to come out from a long time. I love the word building paired with the dungeon diving boss battle gauntlet of a roguelike deck builder. Amazing system. That's Paperback Adventures. In our bottom right section, we have Rhino Hero Giant Edition, It's a Wonderful World, Far Away, Food Chain Magnet, Camel Up, Tapestry, Tags, Blood Rage, El Grande, Gaia Project, Empires of the North, Le Havre, 51st State, Star Wars Outer Rim, Oath, Concordia, Barrage, Paperback, Heroes of Tennefer, Race for the Galaxy, Concept, Encore, Horrified, Ethnos, Noria, Framework, Skulls of Sedlic, Bullet, Endless Winter, Inish, Caverna, Capital X2 Pocket Edition, Space Base, Obsession, Meadow, Perseverance, Castaway Chronicles, Viticulture, Ready Set Bet, Stellarian, Vabank, Tokyo Game Show, Blood Bowl Team Manager, Monikers, Lorenzo Il Magnifico, 5-second Rule, Stockpile, all of the pieces for Crocodile in a Chronicles of Drunagor box, all of the pieces for Tokyo Tsukiji Market, and a tackle box with Tokyo Tsukiji Market on the right there. My favorite game from these is Blood Rage. This has the best action system where every single moment is tense and you're drafting your cards before taking those actions so you have a plan going right into it. I love the pressure and the tension, the special powers and abilities. This is the best dudes on a map game. That's Blood Rage. In this upper left quadrant, we have the expansions for Solomon Kane, Batman, The Dark Knight Returns the Game, Tridvang Legends, Fields of Arl, Circle the Wagons, Lux Eterna, Ultimate Werewolf Deluxe Edition, Planet Unknown, Marvel Zombies, ISS Vanguard, The Isle of Cats, Sky Mines, Mythic Mischief, Cockroach Poker Royale, The Lost Ruins of Arnak. We didn't playtest this at all in a Cards Against Humanity box. Aquatica, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, Batman Gotham City Chronicles, Dune Imperium, Hallertau, Deck of Wonders, Isle of Skye, Poetry for Neanderthals, Port Royal, Tybor the Builder, Blackout, Hong Kong, Great Western Trail, Cthulhu Death May Die, Twilight Inscription, Kaching, Atiwa, Oh My Goods, Blood on the Clocktower, Lands of Galzer, and Guards of Atlantis 2. My favorite game from this section is Blood on the Clocktower. I love the roles available in the game, being the storyteller as well as playing as one of the characters in the game, the customization of the scripts, and the entire experience of the social deduction with that heavy emphasis on deduction. The poison mechanism and drunk mechanism is wonderful. I love the uncertainty, but going with your gut and seeing where those powers and abilities can take you. That's Blood on the Clocktower, the best social deduction game. Finishing off this Boxthrone, we have Smartphone Inc., Bards Dispense Profanity, Awkward Guests, Sonora, Sheriff of Nottingham, Oriflamme and Oriflamme Ablaze, Challengers, Newton, Biblios Quillen Parchment, Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria, Coup Rebellion, Burgle Bros 2, Reef, Scout, Terra Mystica, Zombicide Travel Edition, Pax Pamir 2nd Edition, Fishing Lessons, Exit the Game, The Castles of Burgundy, Bonfire, Smitten, The Crew, Deep Sea Adventure, Noosefjord, Shaolin Showdown, The Card Game, Rurik, Dawn of Kiev, Growl, Cascadia, Parade, Great Western Trail, Argentina, Welcome to Bonanza, The Reckoners, A Feast for Odin, Tokyo Metro, Strike, as well as Harry Potter Strike, Werewords, Set a Watch, Teotihuacan, City of Gods, Team 3, Dinosaur Island, Rar and Right, Capital X2 Generations, For Sale, Dwellings of Eldervale, Orleans, Spire's End, Cloud Age, Junk Art, Clank in Space, a deck building adventure, Through the Ages, a new story of civilization, and a standard deck of cards. My favorite game out of all these is Capital X2 Generations. It's my favorite small card game. I love the drafting and how important each decision is, playing selfishly or selflessly, getting special abilities, knowing when to give and take. I love the scoring mechanism in this game and that push your luck system as you're trying to race to that bust value. That's Capital X2 Generations. That's all with the Boxthrones. Next up, we have some IKEA shelving units. Our first IKEA blocks have Nemesis, Pandemic Iberia, Phantom Inc., 2 copies of Coconuts, Sidereal Confluence, Foundations of Rome, Mansions of Madness, Dixit, Solomon Kane, Condottiere, and AlterQuest. My favorite game out of all these is Nemesis. I love the emergent storytelling, simplified action system, and pure terror that comes from the experience. So thematic, that is Nemesis. Continuing on this upper left section, we have It's a Wonderful Kingdom, Toletum, Tekenu, Tzolk'in, the Mayan Calendar, the expansions for Arkham Horror, the card game, Frostpunk, the board game, the miniatures for Cloudspire, Zombicide campaign expansions, Streetmaster campaign expansions, Game to Pick a Game, Zombicide 2nd Edition, Cloudspire, Too Many Bones, Super Fantasy Brawl, The Grizzled Armistice Edition, Yellow and Yangtze, Brass Lancashire, Brass Birmingham, Maracaibo, and Rising Sun. You could ask me any day of the week which one's my favorite, but it'd probably switch between Maracaibo and Too Many Bones, but I'm going to say that right now Too Many Bones is my favorite out of these games. It's the perfect adventure game, giving you a single shot experience, getting that full level up progression sense as you go from encounter to encounter, getting level up abilities as well as loot, and fighting a giant tyrant at the end of your experience. Love that one and all the different characters in the world of Daylor that is Too Many Bones. Continuing on, we have Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, Gloomhaven, Dawn of the Zeds, Millennium Blades, Fox in the Forest Duet, Fox in the Forest, Container, Scythe, Fuse Countdown, Project Elite, Under Falling Skies, Street Masters, Nemesis Lockdown, 12 Days, Captain Sonar, Atlantis Rising, and Kingdom Rush Rift in Time. My favorite game out of all these is another Nemesis game for the same reasons as earlier. This is Nemesis Lockdown, a more complicated, complex version of the original Nemesis that's much harder and encourages teamwork. I love the different character abilities in this one though, and just how challenging it is. I've only won once and we've played about 22 times. And finishing off our IKEA shelving units, we have Final Girl, Series 1 and Series 2, Witchstone, Downforce, Ubongo, Azul, Battleline Medieval, Micro Macro, Crime City Full House, Micro Macro, Crime City All In, Coffee Roaster, Number 9, Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, QE, the additional terrain pieces for Chronicles of Drunagor, Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game, Vindication, Summoner Wars 2nd Edition, Savannah Park, Marrakesh, Puerto Rico, and New York Zoo. My favorite game out of all these is Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game. I love the card draw and acquisition rate, I love the card evaluation, the engine building, as well as the recently added Crisis expansion that makes the cooperative game a little bit more intense. Love this entire system that is Ares Expedition, the Terraforming Mars card game. Before moving on to the last shelving areas, we have a copy of Micro Macro Crime City that's actually framed with the card decks on the walls, so when everybody's sitting idle, or you can take to large conventions to have people play a quick game of Micro Macro Crime City for some crime solving on the go. In this large bookshelf here, we have a large variety of random games, as well as party games and detective style games, starting in this upper left corner with Twister, Dice for Rory Story Cubes, Neopets and Harry Potter TCGs, Domino, Fireball Island, The Curse of Volcar, Untold Adventures Awaits, Modern Art, On Tour, Just One, Nitwit, Telestrations, Targi, Who Did What, Patchwork, Mandala, King Domino, Lost Cities, 5-Minute Mystery, and No Thanks. And as a bonus, there's our Scythe over there for our games of Blood on the Clocktower. Big shout out to Dan. Thank you so much for the awesome Scythe. My favorite game from this shelf is Untold Adventures Awaits. It's a role-playing game that uses the Rory Story Cube system. I use it a lot in teaching, and I think it's a great way to include some creativity and actually use those Rory Story Cubes in an interesting way. So that is Untold Adventures Await. Continuing on, we have Detective Season 1, Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, Spire's End Hildegard Detective, a modern crime board game, Legacy of Dragonhold, Vienna Connection, Everybody Lies, Shadowhunters, and Alice is Missing. Continuing on the bottom section, we have Ziberius, Avalon, Decrypto, That's a Question, Crusoe Crew, Sherlock Holmes, The Baker Street Irregulars, Star Wars Unlock, Imperial Twing, Monster Expeditions, Railroad Inc., How to Rob a Bank, Rift Force, Longshot the Dice Game, Horizons of Spirit Island, and Nefarious. It doesn't count as a board game on Board Game Geek, but Alice is Missing is my favorite game on this shelf. It's a silent role-playing game. We're going to be using phones for communications, trying to find a missing student that's at your local school. I love the storytelling that emerges from this, the quick pace that is set by the action deck, the soundtrack, the entire immersion, and the way that the story is focused on the people playing, as well as unfolding that mystery that's created by the players. So that is Alice is Missing. And wrapping up this section, we have the Time Stories series, Throw Burrito and Avocado, the Automaton of Shale for Too Many Bones, Razor Goblets, more Exit Games, Zendo, Parks, Chronicles of Crime, Settlers of Catan, Chameleon, Adventure Time, Everything Burrito, Cash and Guns, Welcome to the Moon, Exploding Kittens, On Tour, Paris and New York, Magic Maze, Sticky Cthulhu, Jungle Speed, and Bananagrams. My favorite game here is the Exit series of games. I think that they do the escape room in a box the best, as they're unique in using the entire 3D physical space to create interesting puzzles. No spoilers here, but some of my favorites are usually the medium or easy, as they are achievable puzzles but still feel satisfying when you complete them, and you're able to do them at a brisk pace. So that is exit the game. And lastly, we have our final shelf here, sort of our interim shelf, as we have additional components or sleeves, games that are still waiting on boxes before we start organizing them, things that are in the organizing process or that are damaged and we're waiting for replacements for. In the upper left, we have Aeon's Trespass Odyssey, still waiting from Into the Unknown Studios to send us our replacement parts. Lots of things were damaged during shipping, so hopefully hear back from them soon. I have been emailing, have not heard a response back. If you're looking for that organizing video, message them, let us know that we're waiting for our replacement pieces. We then have Arena the Contest, still waiting for the rest of the expansions for that to unload. We've got Chronicles of Drinagor, more copies of Blood on the Clocktower so we can make our own custom scripts, and then that entire box in that bottom right is just more custom scripts for Blood on the Clocktower, and then a box of sleeves for Frosthaven as we're still unlocking stuff, and that means we're going to be sleeving it here and there, so nice to have that box handy. My favorite game here we already talked about is Blood on the Clocktower, and that's all of the games currently in the SideGame library. And that's it. Those are all of the board games currently in the SideGame library as of April 2023. What are your favorite board games that we have in our library? What's missing? And what do you think about the library in general? What games are you most excited to play next? We'd love to hear what you think. But thank you so much for watching. SideGame Strong.